Well, aloha, everyone. I am Doria Cordova, the CEO and owner of Accelerate Business Schools and the Money and You program. And we have been working on transforming the world since 1979. We have over 2,000 graduates from over 85 countries. And most of our business is actually in the Asia Pacific region. And we're so thankful to Jason Estes, who is going to be one of the main speakers today, and others in Dallas, his team, the beautiful team that has been working with us. And we're going to be expanding the work to Dallas, Texas. We used to go to Austin a long time ago. We have this amazing network in Austin and throughout Texas. So we're going back to Texas. So thank you, Jason. And so we are having this program today on a Thursday instead of a Friday. The first time we do it on a Thursday, and that's because we wanted to accommodate our Asia Pacific friends. We have quite a few of them come in who are now currently in, they are on a Friday already. So we want to make sure that they're not going to miss out. So we making sure that I just see Maria being the main speaker. Do we have other? I just want to make sure that my two people that are supporting are working on that. Okay, Shmika, right? And thank you so much. And Ava, you are pointing out the speaker, right? When we're speaking. Thank you so very much. So with that, I'd like to bring in right now our beautiful speakers. And what I'd like to do is I would like to first bring in Jason. And Jason is somebody that we have just met, physically just met him on November 2nd weekend in San Diego at Money and You. And we are so dazzled by this beautiful young man that he not only has the brilliance, but also has the business savvy and has a vision that is so in alignment with our vision. So with that, what I'd like to do is I would like for Jason to quickly introduce himself, and then we'll go to the other speakers tonight. Go ahead, Jason.
So quickly introducing myself, I'm just Jason, and my goal is to create equal accessibility to all in every avenue of everything. From a quantum level, I call it quantum magnetism. It's one of the most valuable principles is to create this freedom, this open source perspective of everything. And today, that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited about this, is to have other collaborators to talk about an open way of doing things, right? Like we're going to get to talk and have fun. And having fun is one of the most amazing things. But we also have Glenn Ryan here, who has published multiple articles in the quantum field and is going to be our scientist person. And I'm really looking forward to that too, because there were a lot of questions last time that you guys had for me. I was like, hopefully I can get Glenn on here so that he can answer those questions. And I just met the other two people that I'm working with, and I'm already super stoked to see how that goes. So this is going to be a really fun adventure, everybody. And thank you for coming and playing.
Thank you so very much. Okay, so how about if we go to one of the beautiful ladies, Jennifer or Sandra, what would you like to say? Introduce yourself.
You're muted, Sandra.
There you are.
There you go.
Jennifer, it looks like you're on.
Yep.
Okay, I saw Sandra talking, so I was like, okay. So anyways, this is Jennifer Huff here. I'm here in beautiful Asheville, North Carolina, and happy to be here holding it down for the East Coast. And I'm just so excited to be here at an auspicious time of year when so much is up to be completed and so much is being asked as a result of the polarity. I mean, it is an absolutely amazing time to be alive. The spirit of Money and You, the collaboration that the sum of the part, that really the sum of all of us is so much greater than one individual, and that we get to exponentiate each other. Whether you know about the laws of physics or not, it's just great to be able to come together and understand what I like to call scientuality. It's like the science of spirituality, and that we're living it, whether we know it or not, but to be able to give it language and harness it and exponentiate our lives in this world and what's possible for all of us together is just such a blessing. And who better to bring that kind of an event together than Miss Doria, who embodies it so beautifully. So I'm excited to be here. I know my team is watching, and they're excited that we're here too. And I'm also really stoked. Jason, I found out about you a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, oh, I'm going to meet him. He and I are like soul sister and brother or something. I don't know. I just knew the instant I saw you, I'm like, oh yeah, I get you. So, and my other two cohorts as well. I'm just really feeling blessed and very connected. So here we go. I'm excited.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. So we'll take the beautiful gentleman, Dr. Glenn Rhine, like the beautiful river. What say you about yourself, Dr. Glenn?
Hi, folks. Thanks for tuning in and appreciate your wonder and amazement at the wonderful world of quantum physics. But for the record, I'm technically a quantum biologist. My degree is in biology, and I'm actually here from Boston, where all the academics are suffering in their brainwashing mode because they are very fixed into their worldview of science. And the purpose of this meeting is to open people up to a new way of looking at reality, a new way of looking at science, and a new way of looking at healing. And my job, I guess, is to make sure everyone's speaking the scientific truth that I've learned, which is not the mainstream science, because mainstream science is very limited. And I've always felt myself as a unconventional spiritual scientist, where that word was, you love that phrase. And I recently started working with Jason and void space technology, and you talk about a cosmic match made in heaven kind of thing. Well, like Jennifer just said, Jason and I guess that's that must be a function of Jason. He just attracts people and all the right people, and we met and are working together. I guess I'm formally the Chief Scientific Officer of Void Space Technologies, and Jason is the CEO. And between the two of us, we are very ambitious in what we intend to do. And I thank you all for coming, and hopefully you'll all get a better insight about our goals and our mission at the end of this hour and a half, or however long it takes. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ryan. And I just want you to know that I always wanted to meet Einstein, of course. And I feel like there is a semblance there, and that there is the brilliance there. One of my favorite pictures in the whole world, and I must find it, is Buckminster Fuller with Einstein. You know, I don't know if you know that. Yes, wouldn't you have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that conversation? It's absolutely beautiful, and I'm sure, Dr. Ryan, that you have been told that we absolutely love Buckminster Fuller, who love science, and so we'll have another conversation about that later. With that, let's introduce our fourth beautiful expert master here, and that's beautiful Dame Sandra Biscay. What say you?
Hi, Doria. Well, I'm as excited as everybody else. I was on the call when Jason was introduced to us, and all of the cells in my body were just shaking, because I realized that for me, having been a spiritual mentor and coach, working in the quantum field of no space, no time, and downloading spiritual information since a very small child, what I was hearing was, oh, this is not woo-woo, this is quantum. This is what we need. This is what has to happen. And so I'm excited today because I looked at the chat, and some of you said you wanted to, the words were manifestation, faith, transformation. And we've all decided that this is definitely going to be a transformational call for you. And Doria is going to allow Jennifer, and she's going to allow me to take you through a quantum shift and using the tools that we use. So pretty excited to be able to do that for you, and can't wait to hear Jason and Glenn talk about what they are here to talk about, because having spent my life working in a quantum field with divine energies, downloading so much information, to actually, for me, to find scientist David Schmidt from the quantum, the high frequency quantum healing patch system, to realize that quantum healing can happen in so many ways and with so many more modalities. And just so everybody knows, right now, there's a big download onto this planet of what Jason and David Schmidt and Glenn Ryan are talking about, because this is the time where we all need to understand that we are electrical bio beings, and that we're full energy spirit, and that energy is what heals us, because it's the energy that what creates us. Like, we're created from spiritual energy, and that's the thing that does heal us. So yeah, I'm excited to be here, Doria. Thank you for inviting me back with Jason and Dr. Ryan and Jennifer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so one of the questions that we were going to answer: what is quantum field technology and the research data to back it? Now, I know that's a very big question, but who would like to take that on? Would that be Jason, or would that be Dr. Ryan?
Jason first.
Yeah. I'm going to go with one version of it. He's going to go with the grounded scientific version of it. It's going to be really fun. So what I believe quantum fields are fields that exist outside of time and therefore hold the infinite nature of everything. This is the difference between what we understand as quantum fields and what science can prove as quantum fields. And me and Glenn actually just had a call right before this call where we got into it. It was so fun. And like 36 minutes passed like that. And we were like, oh, we got to get ready for the thing. This is one of the reasons why it took a little longer to get here. But the whole process is really understanding that, in my own measurement, my own understanding of doing it, you have your EMFs, or your electromagnetic frequencies, which go up to about like the range of the 20s. And then you have scalar technology, which goes up to about 42 roughly. And then you have quantum field technology, which is about 188 layers. So the difference in those three things is, the most important thing is we reference reality based on a matter perspective, which is actually incorrect. And Glenn can back me up with the actual science on this, but currently we use science at like a 0.002 or a 0.02 percentage of correctness. It's a fascinating thing for me, because when you take matter as a construct to observe anything from, when it actually comes from time into matter, it becomes a very interesting thing. And so the quantum field is this thing that exists so totally, so fully, so completely that it doesn't ask anything of anything else. I call it quantum magnetism. It's a space that's very different. Whereas where you have like scalar technology is a forceful technology, it actually is asking for something. It's pushing energy and information. Scalar technology can be enhanced to become a quantum technology, though, which is what's really cool too, is when you work with your own biofield and you work with scalar technology, you're able to enhance the properties of that, which I've actually proven you can do. And Glenn will talk more about that research with how you can change those things through intentionality, because you as the observer have the capability to change, because you as the observer exist infinitely, right? And then you as a physical being exist from a matter perspective. So when you use measurements, you're actually coming from this matter perspective and the observational principle, which is really interesting when they come together in that way. So my definition of the quantum is the infinite nature of all things. In other words, everything that you could ever need is in the quantum field, just waiting for you. Now, tapping into the quantum field is the problem, because
I'm so sorry. One more time. What was the definition?
The infinite nature of your being, like that whole space of infinite space and time. When you're in that space, you're in the quantum field. And the quantum field is like a stream of information that's running, because us connecting to that quantum field is our work around us, right? Because the quantum field exists already. It's not about, and this is where most quantum healing comes in, and most people would be like, well, but we already have access to everything. You do. You 100% already have access to everything. However, there's a part in your brain called the reticular something that actually inhibits you from remembering that you have access to everything, which is where us coming from a matter perspective and working on what matters and enhancing what matters is how we actually tap into the quantum field. And that's where quantum healing comes in from our perspective, because you're already whole and complete and perfect in your quantum self. But you aren't in alignment with that until you actually clean up and create that room within yourself to interact with it. And that's what's really cool about science. So me and Glenn headed off having conversations about this because he comes from this one perspective and this perspective at the same time, and I come from this perspective, and we actually get this whole spectrum conversation. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to Glenn.
Okay, that was a great definition. No, my definition is the same, except I want to expand what Jason just said in light of the phrase spiritual science, which has been floating around already in the last 30 seconds, because people have to understand that, yes, we have electromagnetic nature, we have a quantum nature, and we have a spiritual nature. And at least according to the Eastern spiritual traditions, all of these energies are just part of a cascade of a spectrum, a full spectrum of energy, starting with the physical body. I mean, they even call the physicality part of this. The umbrella term is consciousness, which includes everything from physicality to electromagnetic energies, to scalar energies, to quantum energies, to energies of the spirit. So spiritual energy is not something that we can study in science because it's even more subtle, if you will, than quantum energy. So a lot of people talk about spirituality and science, but the real accessible part of this collection of energies, this spectrum of energies, is the quantum level, because physicists have now been able to they understand the quantum in a more of a theoretical approach than we want to take here, because we're into hands-on experiential and hands-on measurement, at least my side of the equation, so that we're able to realize our quantum potential, if you will, and then by accessing the quantum level, we can then access the even higher spiritual levels. So that's the first thing to say in terms of the hierarchy of angels, of energies. Where'd that come from? Right. Okay. So that definition that Jason gave is very true, especially when talking about the perspective of mainstream science and mainstream consciousness, is that everything is viewed from the perspective of the physical body, from the the matter, and physics is divided into two parts. There's the kind of physics that study matter and particles, that's called particle physics, electrons and photons and subatomic particles. And then there's the part of science that studies energy, and that's more like quantum physics. And the two are very separate, but the focus has always been that the particles and the matter is the source of the energy, like in the brain. It's the brain, which is the source of the energy of the brain, which we call the mind. But that's the mainstream perspective, and it's the new age, new science, next generation of scientists who are saying, no, it's the other way around. It's the energy which is fundamental, and matter arises from the energy. And therefore, the energy controls the matter. And the more subtle the levels of energy that we can go to with our consciousness, i.e. into the spiritual domain, the deeper our healing can be, because we're working at the source. We're working at the origin of the energies that we as human beings have access to. So any technology that works, so the technologies that work at the spiritual level is our mind, and that's meditation and all of that stuff, which most of us, experience on a day-to-day level. But when you're talking about technology, you can, if you can work at the quantum level, which is what Jason and I are working, and I think David Schmidt probably also works at that level, There are a few people that work at that level, but mostly not, because it's very tricky. It's not linear. It's not logical, and it is definitely stretching the imagination of the mind, let alone the limits of science. So the goal is to access these deep, higher forms of energy in order to heal the body. Now, you can do other things with when you're at that level, like manifest things in the physical world. But my focus has always been on healing, because I am a biologist by training, and I'm very fascinated by how the body heals itself. And as somebody said earlier, it's the energy that heals, not the chemistry. And it only took me 50 years to figure that out, because I started as a biochemist thinking, oh, well, the solution to all the healing on the planet is to work at the biochemical level. That's the most fundamental level, and that's from which all things in the body exude. But then I later learned, well, no, it's actually the energy. So that's why I'm very much fascinated by Jason's approach and virtual space, VST, the company, and the goal that Jason is trying to accomplish, which is to be able to develop technologies that function at the quantum level, which allow our consciousness to resonate with and connect to the quantum level. And then from there, healing occurs naturally, because that's the most fundamental level.
Yep.
Wow. I'm going to have to watch the replay on that one. Anybody else? Anybody else? Yeah. I am pretty smart, but you know what? I have this theory. When you get around beautiful people like this, and and I have had the opportunity to be around 4 major geniuses, including Buckminster Fuller, that it actually, we get it. This is why I wanted to have this. I wanted to have this event just for me to get a little bit more intelligent. I can feel my neurological pathways growing right now. Anybody else? Give me some reactions, you guys. Give me some hearts or something. You know how to use your reactions, right? So now I can decide which it should follow that, whether it's Jennifer or Sandra, because they both have knowledge and practice what he was talking about. Who wants to go first?
I'd love to.
Jennifer wants to
they both want to go at the same
want to
time.
go. It's not a problem.
I would love to kind of set some stuff up around what was just shared. It's just speaking my language. So, and I know for you too. So how I got to this place actually is I ran the largest nutrition practice in Canada. So I studied biology. So my background is in biophysics. So, these two are just so far so good. I just feel like we're a beautiful pod together. And I wanted to share a picture that recently just came through that I think can allow some more senses to be involved in all of the wonderful information that Jason and Dr. Ryan just shared, that will allow also, I'm feeling like whatever Sandra does, which is going to be magical, to be even more integrated and received. So as a human being, we, have our own field. We literally are a living intention of consciousness. We are both quantum particles and physical particles. And I love that Dr. Ryan just talked about particle physics and quantum physics. As a human being, what's very interesting is that we have this ability to take the entire quantum field, bring intention to it, and have our intention create as thought forms into the field yet again, and have consciousness the field respond to that which we've been inspired to create in our mind's eye. And so if people always asked me, I had a client recently ask me, so what is it? What does that mean that there's a quantum field? And what does that mean that there's, Jennifer, there's three-dimensional DNA, the DNA that actually governs our eyes, our height, our hair color, and it comes from our ancestries, and it's all physical. And what does it mean to have multidimensional DNA, like codes that actually define our superpowers and our greater abilities that aren't three-dimensional? I decided a long time ago, there had to be, if there's codes that define how we are in 3D, and how we show up in 3D and how we look and the skills that we have, et cetera, there have to also be codes that define the multidimensional abilities that we have, our superpowers, as it were. Things like our ability to intuit, our ability to connect with nature, our ability, I was doing that with my dog when I was 7 years old, talking to my dog, thinking, how am I doing this right now? What is going on? And I started to think, okay, what's going on? As people were asking me this question, how is it that we're actually this focal point of consciousness in three-dimensional reality, but made of quantum particles? How's that even possible? And what is it that we hear all the time, that we're creator consciousness in human form? What does that actually mean? And so for me, that's when I started to study physics. And I started to imagine that we're like this little outlet of this river of flow of creation consciousness, made of every particle that one could imagine, both the particles in 3D and the particles that are multi-D and the particles that lie beyond even those particles, and the waveforms and the gravitational forces and the quarks and the beyond and beyond. And as I understood that, I understood that there are different aspects and different dimensions of our reality that act. I had to be able to explain it to someone who wasn't interested in physics. And I thought to myself, okay, so imagine that it's like a multidimensional clockwork, as though there are cogs and there are arms and there are widgets and there is gold and there is all sorts of stuff and the windy things that wind the watch, and all of it works through each other in order to give you, if it was a watch, the time per se. And if we were talking about you, it would be wormholes, it would be photons, it would be fractals, it would be sacred geometry, it would be DNA and beyond, all working together in and through every single dimension, like a clockwork, to have you exist in this 3D time-space reality as creator consciousness, utilizing the field of all of those different widgets, like you're the clock, right? And you're at the forefront, and that's what people see. And then you have intention that then activates all of those widgets and those wormholes and those photons and those quarks and all of that multidimensional stuff that maybe you've never studied or you've never seen. And because through our thought form, because our thought forms, our intentions, our prayers, whatever you want to call them, actually affect the quantum field and activate all those widgets to create pure potential in the field, that when you're aligned with the frequency of that particular potential, all of a sudden, and when humanity is ready for it, all of a sudden it shows up in three-dimensional reality because of all that's playing out behind the scenes It's as though all this stuff is playing behind the scenes, and you're this focal point of creation that has thought forms that go back into the loop and recreate over and over and over again. And in 3D, life keeps showing up magically.
So,
Yeah.
go ahead. We have so many questions and
Yeah.
so many things to cover. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So what I'm saying is, it's such an amazing time to be alive that we're even able to study this and even able to talk about this together, and that the practicalities of harnessing all of that is just a beautiful, thriving operating system that Money and You talks about all the time. And I love that. So, it's real, and it's possible. Everyone can harness this. You don't need to know about physics to actually harness the practicalities of it all. But man, does it make you really know that you need to be excited about being alive right now when you start to understand the laws of physics. Just really lovely time to be alive.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Whew. Okay, so it's just that I want to make sure that we get everybody here. So Sandra, Dame Sandra, you ready? Are you ready? Are you with us?
I am with you. Hang on.
Okay, go ahead. What say you? Just not as long, just so that we can continue, but go ahead.
Well, so on a quantum level, I loved it when Glenn was talking about the quantum field and then the spiritual field, because I've always been quantum spiritual, that whole thing. And being able to access quantum consciousness, which we all can do, but I've been doing since I was a child, that's when life becomes reality. That's the reality for me. This 3D body and all of the codes that are of fear and unforgiveness and being oblivious and being asleep to what's really going on, those codes keep us in 3D reality, unable to support healing. Whereas the healing happens, which I heard both the boys say, healing happens on a quantum level when you're aligned with the codes of love and the higher frequencies. And that to me that's the bigger version of you, that large version of you, which is your true self, which is whole and complete. It is in the quantum consciousness field, and it is being directed by many spiritual and incredible beings. And that's why later on, when I get the opportunity, we'll go in and I will discover an event, emotion, and decision for you that you made in 3D reality that is still a story stopping you from being able to align with your quantum consciousness healing. And then I'm also going to talk to you about the consciousness on a quantum level of this little thing here that actually goes directly to the pineal gland, which is the doorway to the divine consciousness, brings down this incredible technology into the body. And I loved when Glenn said, it's really hard for people to get their minds around this kind of technology. And I understand that totally. So I'm actually going to do something really unique for you. I'm going to ask you to give yourself a number of what you're feeling like. I'm going to patch myself, but on a quantum level, I'm actually patching you because there is only one, and you are going to feel a shift. So Doria, I'm excited to be here, and every word that Jason and Glenn and Jennifer said, I'm like, yeah, that's it. This is reality for me is not the stories of the ego. Reality is this grand, incredible place that is steeped in the highest energy field on anywhere, which is love. That's the creator energy. And when we tap into that, when we align to that, the body heals. And so, boy, everybody, you're already having such a treat tonight, right?
All right. So do you want to do your little thing now?
Sure, if people want to. So what I'm going to ask you all to do, this is an experiential thing. I want you all to think about something that might be upsetting you. And of the hundreds of thousands of people I've spoken to over the last almost 50 years, everybody can find something that is upsetting them. So don't don't think, oh, there's nothing, there is. So what's upsetting you, and give yourself a number. How much is it upsetting you? Like 10, it's really upsetting you. 0, it's not upsetting you. You're neutral. So the neutral still point is when you're really sitting in that space where healing can happen. So what number are you? Why don't you just put your numbers in the chat? And Daniel and I over Christmas we were a 10, by the way. We were really out there suffering, and we were 10s. And so please put your number down there, because this is the number that we're going to shift for you. And if you want this quantum healing experience, be honest with yourself. The ego mind will say, oh, I'm just a 5 about that. And the unconscious mind will go, no. The unconscious mind, which has access to the whole quantum field, says, no, you're really 100. So give yourself a number, put them in the chat. Once you've put them in the chat, I'm going to tap into you on this quantum level as a group, not an individual. So remember, when I'm given information for you tonight, this is in the unconscious. So some of you might go, no, I don't feel that, or that's not right. But I'm not talking about what you know on in a 3D reality. I'm talking about what is hidden from you in the unconscious. So I'm just going to tap into you as a group, and we're going to find an event, emotion, and decisions that were made, and I'm going to correct them out of your system to give you a shift. Okay, so let's have a look at this group. Yeah, I thought I was going to get this one. I before coming on, I thought, gee, this is going to be interesting with this group because you're such high consciousness people. But what I got was in the unconscious mind, there is a story that says, I'll never get there. I'll never, these grand ideas, these big dreams that I have, everybody else gets there except me. I'll never get there. So now some of you are going, oh, hang on a minute, I'm successful, I'm this, I'm that. Remember, unconscious. The unconscious program is a sabotage program that allows you to be this successful and not that successful, correct? So let's go in. I'm going to go in and find out what's going on for you. Well, I'm not surprised at all. I just was given this image of all of you having been incredible masters of spirituality, of science, physics, and math, like really incredible people. And what happened was, like Galileo and Tesla and a lot of the people who were incredibly tapped in to the quantum field of all information, that they suffered, they were murdered, they were taken out because they had cures. They were tapping into a science that people couldn't understand. They were, they were literally taken out. So what I'm feeling with this group is that there's this underlying story of I'll never get there, but then underneath that, wow, this is big. Underneath that, it's that I really don't want to get there, because getting there is dangerous. It's dangerous for me to be at the top of my game. It's dangerous for me to speak in a language that people don't understand. It's dangerous, like if people say I'm woo-woo or I'm crazy or I don't know what I'm talking about, it's dangerous. And that danger is coming from when you had lifetimes or your ancestors have pulled in the DNA, the information in your DNA now, because all information is within that DNA, those strands, and where your ancestors have been through situations where they were burnt at the stake for knowing too much, for being healers, where they were drowned, where they were called witches. I'll never get there now drops down into it's too dangerous to be there. And so for each and every one of you, let's just go in, and on a quantum level, I'm going to go back in time to these millions of lifetimes that you've had where this has happened, where you've been taken out for being brilliant, where you've been taken out for being the scientist, for speaking a language that people didn't understand. And we're going to actually on a quantum level change all of that. And we're going to see Galileo being praised. We're going to see all of these incredible healers being looked after and held safe within communities. And so now we're going to come into this 3D reality that you're in. And we're going to neutralize and delete 0 to infinity out of your systems all of the beliefs, programs, and ideas on a spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, psychic, and psychological level that is sabotaging your ability to get there, to have the life, the success, the wonder, the abundance, the ability to heal not only yourself, but to help end suffering, to heal humanity. So let's just neutralize and delete all of those beliefs, programs, and ideas. It's dangerous to be who I am. It's dangerous to know what I know. It's dangerous to bring onto this planet new technology. It's dangerous to talk quantum whatever. It's dangerous to simply know what other people don't know. And let's give you a correction: to be strong, to know the truth. You are a perfect, divine, high frequency being, and you can trust that it is safe for you to bring your unique knowledge and wisdom and divine downloads of this technology that is changing and will change humanity onto this planet. Let's neutralize and delete the neuronal pathways that have been the habit of thinking it's dangerous, I can't do it, and bring in a brand new karmic soul agreement. And that is, oh, I'm a perfect divine high frequency being. It's safe for me to bring onto this planet this information at this time. Let's also neutralize and delete all karma between you and anybody who has ever put you down or triggered off a feeling of, I don't deserve to be successful. This is really not for me and it's dangerous. Let's plug in a forgiveness template into this energy heart center and forgive yourself for creating those stories, for listening to them, for reading them, and forgive every single other being or event that played their role in award-winning style to actually trigger off the pain and to keep you in a place where you will never realize the wonder and the magnificence that you are. So corrected to be strong on every level. Okay, so I'm going to complete this by using David Schmidt, the USA inventor and scientist. I'm going to use his quantum consciousness patches to complete this, because this is a correction in a patch. So you've still got your numbers, which should have gone down by now. I'm going to put this patch on my arm, and what you're going to do is visualize that I'm putting it on your arm. There is really only, in the quantum field, there's no time, there's space, no space. There's only spirit, energy, and we're all it. Just because you're in a physical body, as Jason and everybody else and Dr. Ryan has allowed you to see and feel and know, that on a quantum level, I am patching you as I'm patching my arm. So I'm just taking the back off this patch, which is a crystalline structure of amino acids, sugars, patented frequency, high frequency information. When I put this on my arm, the patent office proved that the moment it goes on my arm, copper peptide is going to be running through my system, which is beginning the reverse aging process, which is beginning to work with inflammation, beginning to help with consciousness, pain on an emotional level. So this is, again, working on every level. I'm just putting this on you right now. If you've got any water with you at all, take a sip, because the water is going to be moving the energy field through the body. This now, in this nanosecond, has gone to the brain. It's activated information in the back brain on a quantum level. The brain is now telling the body what to do in order for the body to heal itself and to bring itself back into complete and total balance, back into its original divine blueprint. Okay, got it? Now, think about what you were thinking about before, about what was upsetting you, and you gave yourself a number. Can any of you actually feel that challenge right now, or are you a 0? Can you please write in the chat your new numbers? Many of you right now will simply be a 0, because we've been working in the quantum field to bring about ending suffering within your 3D body. Let's have a look.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandra. Whoa, Jason, what say you? because you have that beautiful bed. You have so many products and things that you are creating for healing. She kind of took us there. Can we speak a bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that we are capable of everything, 100%. That the problem is that we have a believed lack of resources. And that's because our connection to the quantum field has been interfered with. So all the technology that I design and that I work with is technology that is temporary. It's designed specifically to help you to re-unlock. Because again, it's not about whether or not you are capable. For anyone out there that's like, well, I'm not capable of connecting to the quantum field. I didn't study this thing. I didn't do those things. Well, I didn't either. Like I never read books or anything like that. I'm self-taught on every level. But yet I can have conversations with people that have PhDs on everything, and we can have real conversations because infinite nature exists. The difference is that we forgot that it exists. And then I truly believe, and this is something that me and Glenn are working to prove. We haven't proved it yet, so I'm not going to say that this is a true statement, but it is a hypothesis of mine. I believe very strongly that when we're a child, we begin to develop this belief that matter matters more than imagination. And what occurs is this part of our brain begins to start to restrict access to the infinite nature so that we can be more focused on matter. And I believe that that's the reason that when we get older, we start to realize, oh, well, something matters more than I do. And that's not a true statement, but we believe it. And so because we believe that, we begin to separate that. And we believe that something matters more, so we're actually giving up our resources for that thing. And therefore, we're no longer infinite resources. And so sickness occurs. And I believe that sickness occurs specifically to show us that something's out of alignment. It's not something that's there to like haunt us or destroy us. It's something that can be overcome when we have infinite resources again, right? So the idea behind bed is that when you lay on the bed, it's creating a quantum field that is a physical quantum field, that is a measurable quantum field. And Glenn can tell you about the studies that we're doing on them. But that helps you to remember that you have access to an actual quantum field. And so what occurs is your cellular memory and everything starts to wash out all of the misunderstandings that you've taken on or the things that matter until eventually you become a clear channel. And that clear channel allows the quantum field to run and stream through you again. And so the idea of these beds and everything that I design is really just to help you remember faster so that you can eventually outlevel them, because the greatest tool, I believe, is you. 100%. I don't think that any electrical technology or any patch or anything else in the world is designed as a permanent solution to something. It's designed as a door that helps you to open another level of yourself. And that's it. And then when you outlevel it, that's good. Congratulations, just move on, right? But when we believe that things matter more than us, when we believe that matter is more valuable than time, for instance, then what happens is we forget the infinite nature of who we are and the capability that we came in with. And the world is really good at distracting us in that. Like every day, everywhere that you can possibly look, you're pretty much seeing something that wants your attention more than you want to give your attention to yourself. So you get distracted, and then you start to make those things matter more than you. And this is where the quantum science and spirituality kind of come hand in hand, is because the observer effect, which I'm going to let Glenn explain because I'm not a scientist. I've said that multiple times. I do not have PhDs. He does. He's brilliant, and he proves my theories in science, which is really amazing. So Glenn, do you want to talk about a little bit of like what you're learning with, for instance, quantum entanglement, the newest thing that you just figured out, whereas like doing the bed is 65% DNA conductivity, but then remotely doing it was at 30% is what you had said. So we're working on proving quantum entanglement as a reality through actual scientific data. And this is a very big step, right? Because what you're talking about though is a little bit different, because you're using something that has a memory already with it. When you work with a quantum field, it's not actually in that same sense. It's not like, hey, here's exactly what you need to remember. It's here's everything you need, now receive. And that's what I love about the patch that you're talking about, is that those patches help to open that door of receptivity again. But it's that power that you have inherently that is the key to everything. All technology was ever designed to do was to show you how powerful you really are so that you could remember. Because many of us, like she was saying before, we're too powerful in our minds and we killed ourselves. And because we did that, we're now afraid to do it again in this life because it's like, well, I don't really, I mean, things are kind of, they're okay. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. But you're using a reality engine. You allow the quantum field to run through you to create reality as it is. And this is called the observer effect. And it is a very real, scientifically proven thing that, again, I'm not going to go too far into because that's not my expertise and I want to honor that. And we do have an expert here that is an honor of that. So I'm going to hand it over to Glenn now to carry over.
Before we go to Glenn, I just wanted to say very quickly that actually Glenn worked directly with David Schmidt, the creator of the patches that Sandra was just demonstrating with. And you know, I wanted to thank Sandra for that beautiful demonstration. And it kind of like interweaves. You know, we didn't know that. It wasn't until we were looking through some of the science of the LifeWave patches that we found his name in there. My beloved found it, and it was like, wow, we all know each other and everything else. So, and go ahead, Dr. Glenn, go ahead.
So I'd like to bring in the DNA story at this point, since it's been mentioned, and it's kind of key to understand how these quantum energies heal the body. So DNA, of course, we all know what DNA is, but DNA is more than that. Whatever you think DNA is, it's more, because DNA is actually an antenna. And DNA allows the body, because DNA is physical, so it's also multidimensional, as Jennifer was saying, but DNA allows the physical body to receive the energies that Jason was talking about. And at the same time, DNA can broadcast this energy into the cells. And when I do visualization, that's kind of partly what I do, is to see the divine energies from spirit coming into the body through the DNA, acting as an antenna to detect those energies, and then broadcast those energies throughout the body to heal the body. So that whole process is going on at one level, at the level of our intention and our ability to visualize and image energies. So you think it was complicated before? Now it gets really complicated, because we superimposed upon this whole natural internal process of receiving and broadcasting quantum energies is the ability of certain technologies to facilitate that process, like Jason just said. So in order for that to happen, there has to be resonance between the internal processes that are going on, that are intrinsic to our bodies. And everyone, of course, is different. So everyone's got a slightly different version of those internal processes. But those internal processes have to resonate with the external quantum energies associated with the technology we're talking about, whether it's David's or Jason's. Now, in order for that to happen, there has to be resonance. And in order for that to happen, I guess it was Jennifer who talked about frequencies. Well, that's a magic word for me, but there has to be some kind of exchange of information between the external device and our internal processes. So for me, since DNA is so fundamental, what I decided to do was to study the effect of the VST technology for Jason's company on DNA. Now, I had done that before with many different technologies. That's what my lab has been doing for the last 30, 40 odd years, measuring various technologies, some of which are more subtle than others, and some of which are more dense. In other words, more electromagnetic in nature, and some are higher forms of energy. But they all resonate with, well, they don't all resonate with DNA. I mean, if there is that resonance between the external and the internal, DNA will change. Now, what I measure when I measure DNA, because that's a big statement there, DNA has so many functions in the body, but we actually, somebody also mentioned this, the electrical energy in the system. And that's exactly what I measure, the electrical properties of DNA. Because DNA is so energetic in its own right, measuring the energy of the DNA, to me, seems to be the way to do that. But in order to measure the energy of the DNA and the resonance of the DNA to all these external processes, let alone the internal processes, you need to take a measurement at the resonance frequency of the DNA molecule itself. And that's what I do that's so different than everybody else, because all my electrical measurements are taken at the resonance frequency of the DNA molecule itself. So that facilitates the exchange of information between the two. Now, for the record, I also used to work at HeartMath, which a lot of people know, and that's all. Their focus is more on the internal processes that are going on, the internal quantum processes, and in reference to what's been said earlier about intention, and then Sandra used the magic word love. Well, it turns out in order for us to resonate with these quantum fields, we need to have both the intention and the love. One or the other doesn't work. You need both. And I've done this lots of times. This is some of the experiments we did at HeartMath, who are people who are very adept at generating coherence in their body. And I was able to conclude that you need both the intention and the love. Okay, so now I've said all that. When measuring the effects of various technologies on DNA, I can now distinguish between what an electromagnetic field does, what a scalar field does, and what a quantum field does. And the bottom line here is that Jason's technology is clearly different from all the other technologies I've studied. First of all, the magnitude of the effects are huge. In some cases, I've seen as much as like 300% stimulation, which is like unheard of because most technologies only give about a 30% change in the electrical conductivity of the DNA. The higher the effect, the stronger the DNA repairs itself. That connection between the electrical properties and the DNA repair is known in the scientific literature. So that's one of the other reasons I measure the electrical conductivity. So Jason's technology can, not only is it huge, but it's very much dependent on the external energies in the environment. It's really bizarre because we don't understand this exactly yet, but sometimes you get a stimulation and sometimes you get an inhibition of the current. Sometimes it's a little bit, sometimes it's a lot. Sometimes, and when I measure electrical activity, I measure the current and the voltage, which are supposed to correlate, but not always. Sometimes one goes up and the other goes down, one goes down, the other goes up. And it's so complicated that I'm still trying to really figure out exactly under what conditions this particular technology is optimal, so we can get the maximum amount of benefit from it. So I don't want to go into all of the gory details because it will get pretty technical, but I'm writing white papers for the website. I guess we at some point should give out all these different websites for people to have. And I'm now doing a second white paper showing the efficacy of the bed, and then of course my own research with the DNA, which would be a third white paper. But the point is that yes, DNA does change, and it changes in a unique way, different from other technologies I've tested, different from ordinary electromagnetic energy, and different from scalar energy. And we'll leave it at that.
Wow, thank you. I wish I had a meme, the one that goes. So Jason, I want to bring it home a little bit more, and when we were having this conversation after you attended Money and You, right? We stayed up until about 3 a.m. and the old time it had changed. We got an extra hour that night, right?
Yeah.
At Money and you were talking about this and what had happened in the Money and You program for you. And a lot of it was the manifestation. Of course, Jennifer and Sandra are also Money and You graduates, and as many people here are. So can you explain to me can you share with me again the conversation that we were having about what happens in Money and You?
Yeah. So this is what's so unique, right? I've seen a lot of people attempt what they do, which is to create a standing quantum field and to nurture that quantum field so that the magnetism of that field remains the whole time. And that's what I got to experience at Money and You. It's the entire reason why I was so willing to pay to have it moved and come to Texas and like help it branch out. And I actually plan to introduce it all over the world, because to have somebody that can create a standing quantum field that I didn't personally train, that actually was able to hold that space, that's the rarest thing in the world. Because when you have a standing quantum field, you're able to be in that space and get exactly what you need. And the way that they take care of you inside of that event, there's no other, like, it's a miracle. You have to experience it to understand it, because I could use words to describe it, but I can't, because it's a quantum thing. Like that's it. It's a quantum thing. Like everything else that I would say is going to belittle the value of the experience that I had and the experience that I know that others will have. So as long as you're aware that you're going into a space where you're not being asked anything, you're fully open and ready to find the things that are interrupting your flow with the quantum field, then you go all in. That's the key, right? Because that's that intention part that he's talking about. You show up fully, be as present as you possibly can, and face everything honestly. By the end of it, you are tapped into a quantum field that you didn't know, and the manifestation potential around you is exponential because of that. And I have to like hat off to Doria and her team for being able to hold that field for so many people. I mean, I've seen people do it in small groups of like 5 or 6 people, right? But like to have a massive event at a venue that hasn't been pre-prepped or anything like that, and to have all the outside forces trying to get in, but to be doorkeepers at the level they do and to honor time at the level they do, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, short of what I've seen in my own organization, but that's different because like I taught that, right? So to see somebody else know that stuff, and that's one of the reasons why I had never heard of Buckmaster Fuller prior. And actually, It was really funny because of all these connections afterwards. But that person knew what they were doing. Like hands down, they knew what they were doing, because the ability to understand the quantum field and to really explain it and express it so clearly, so easily available. And then what they've done is they've taken those teachings and even made them even easier to understand. And then you actually, without running too much of the experience, you get to actually have experiential play. You get to play games using principles, and your brain just unlocks new levels. And what I was talking about before with the reticular part of your brain, that thing just like opens up, and more information that you've been blocking goes away because you have infinite resources. You're capable of infinitely processing everything, except you don't know it. And that's one of the cool things about Money and You for me, was that even after all of the training and all the work that I've done, it still helped me to unlock a new level of myself. And that's why I'm a champion of it and bringing it to Texas. And I'm going to help with everything else that I possibly can, is because I've never experienced anything else other than my own coursework that does something at that level and that magnitude. And this is being held by people that have been doing it for 43 years. Like, that's so impressive to me. So hat off. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, I know that Jennifer is jumping off because she had a very similar experience. So I'm going to have Jennifer share that in a minute. But I just wanted to really give a big shout out to Marshall Thurber. I mean, I get so emotional because he is such a brilliant human being. And what he did is like, he actually, with the teachings of Buckminster Fuller and the other masters that have contributed, the knowledge that Marshall went and got from all these brilliant people, but particularly Buckminster Fuller, that has such a tremendous understanding of this field. He was able to put it into games. And of course, our work has been, my work has been to keep the flame going and to make sure that we had the structure that they can continue. But he has shifted so many people's lives, particularly mine, of course. Remember, I'm a Money and You graduate. I'm a business school graduate and then a Money and You graduate. A lot of people forget that. And I started to have a deeper understanding of it, particularly when Jennifer attended it. At first, we connected personally, and she had a lot to say about myself and the place that my beautiful condo here in San Diego. But also, Jennifer, if you can just kind of follow up on that a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's interesting, Jason. I had the exact same experience, and thank you for languaging it so beautifully. I walked into that room and I had the same experience in that our work is on that same level of having that quantum space be held so profoundly, and something, a language that we use, because so often when you're out there looking at the field and experiencing the new, being an adventurer, and curious on the adventure of these beautiful concepts and how they apply to real life, there's no English words, there's no any language words. And so you have to invent them. So one of the things that I noticed is that most people's work are operating on a spiral and people are trying to go up the spiral. But quantum work actually has you leap onto another spiral entirely, into a whole different paradigm. And so Money and You, and again, like you, Jason, I'd never experienced it before, where I went in there thinking it's going to be good. I heard it's amazing. And by the time it finished, I'm like, I'm not really sure if Doria is aware that what she's come upon is in the area of a prosperity and expanding our ability to plug into abundance in an entirely different way. I call it skipping operating systems. I mean, I'm all about operating systems. It's like leaping operating system. It's a whole other way of operating in the world where reciprocity causes infinite abundance. And that's what Money and You is all about. And it's using the principles of quantum physics, because Buckminster Fuller, whether he was fully aware of everything, although he's a pretty smart guy, but Money and You, and I feel like what you're saying, Doria, is that Marshall Thurber was a conduit for Buckminster Fuller, making it practical in real life to be able to experience his principles. So, for me, any work like that is someone who is seriously curious on the adventure and interested in making their greatest contribution with the least amount of effort, right? Yep. Really and truly making the greatest contribution we can on the path of fulfillment, and knowing that we have the ability, all of us are made of quantum particles. It's not like nobody has access. You are that. So yeah, Doria, it's just amazing work. It's so beautiful that it's, someone came at it from a completely different angle, and probably Marshall doesn't even know about physics, I suspect. Does he know a little bit?
He does.
Oh, you're muted. Yeah, good.
He pretty much, he does. He's a total off the chart genius. And
okay, well then, there you go.
Yeah. And Sandra, what say you? I can feel your energy going, whoa. Sandra, thank you for that beautiful treatment, by the way.
I just always have to unmute myself because I like muting myself and just really being there and focusing on everybody. It's so exciting. Yeah, I mean, to me, Money and You was a game changer on a lot of levels. And what both Jennifer and Jason said was very relevant for me. But for more than anything, being able to figure out as a spiritual business being, and unfortunately I was straddling both worlds from a very young age, which became confusing for a bit, and that was being able to understand where I was coming from as a business person during Money and You, and that I needed to make some shifts and some changes. And that was so exciting Money in You allows you to get to know yourself from a very different level. Like I was knowing myself from this deep, deep spiritual level, speaking to Jesus since I was 3, and being on that level where I was always getting out of the way and letting these energies and information come through me. And in Money in You, I couldn't do that. I couldn't get out of the way. I had to be present. And that's why it was a very grounding experience for me, and very special. So thank you, Doria, for all that you and the team do. And Kerry, it's pretty fabulous. What are the dates for Dallas?
She's muted.
Oh, she's muted. Okay.
Yeah, but she's still muted. You're talking. You're muted.
Jason, you know the dates for Dallas, right?
Yeah, the 18th through the 21st.
Great. I mean,
But I was going to let her talk.
Sorry, I absolutely, I keep forgetting that I muted myself too. So it is going to be January 18th through 21st, and I'm just going to make a couple of little announcements here. I just wanted to let you all know that, and especially since you're here today, and that there is specials. There are some beautiful discounts. So just reach out to info@moneyandyou.com for those of you that haven't attended or have friends that would like to go. And then, of course, all of you who are graduates, we'd love for you to come along. I mean, we're going to put a link to the hotel. We have extended, thank you so much, Jamie and the team that have been working with me. We created miracle after miracle. Well, it's being run by a completely different energy besides me. And so we created this beautiful hotel, and it's only $139, and 2 of you can stay in a room. And so there's going to be a link that my beautiful Shmiko is going to put for the hotel. And you just go in there, and 2 of you can go in at the DoubleTree. I can't remember, Market something. I want to say Market Street, and it's near downtown in Dallas. And so we're going to be there. And for those of you that would love to join the logistics team, we absolutely would love for you to be there with us. And again, you just write to info@moneyandyou.com, or Shmiko will put the phone number too. The 619-224-8880 number. And you can text, WhatsApp, or call and let us know that you would love to be with us. And whether you, for the first time, or whether you are coming back, and particularly on Friday afternoon at 3 p.m. if you're a graduate. Remember, it's from Wednesday through Saturday. So on Friday, we play the big game. Do you remember that big game that, it's about the essence of words, the essence of our heart. And we'd love for you to be there at about 3 p.m. on Friday to help us with that particular exercise. And just so you know, there already all these beautiful people are registering. Jason, I don't know if you're getting the list yet of all your different people that are coming in, and just having just the most gorgeous people come in. And then also other people that just are hearing about it. And Jennifer, if you can be there, Sandra, if you can be there. And Dr. Ryan, just so you know, we have had some pretty off-the-chart geniuses in that room. You're more than welcome to come along with us. And it's absolutely fascinating to see it from that point of view, particularly Buckminster Fuller's work. And you will not be bored. Just so you know, any one of you will not be bored.
You will not be bored.
And then I also wanted to share with all of you, if you go to, I want you to have some gifts. Go to accesstocashbook.com. There, because it's the end of the year, there is a gift there. It's my 20-page personal productivity system. And I learned that when I was 20 years old from the most organized person on the planet. And it's to organize your desk, organize your office. And I even now put it up there that you can put all of that to organize your desktop. You can use certain apps. I can't help you with the phone a lot because I haven't been able to figure out how to have all those files on my phone yet. And I actually don't type 120 words per minute the way that I do. So I'm not a total app person, and I know there's a lot of different ones. But I just do want you to know that I'm giving you this beautiful gift. Just go to accesstocashbook.com, and then you will see that you just sign there, and you will have that beautiful gift. it's called the Personal Productivity chapter from my Money Making Systems manual. And then I also want to invite you next week on the 6th at 11 o'clock Pacific. I want you to come with me and do the Ho'oponopono prayer. And Dr. Ryan, if there's any way that you could also join us sometimes, it's such a beautiful prayer. I had the opportunity to be with this beautiful kahuna who was given in the 60s, early 70s, for her to bring out one of the biggest secrets in the Hawaiian huna tradition, which is the creating, making things right, connecting with family and doing Ho'oponopono. Families get together and do that for days. But she put it together along with some very beautiful Christian teachings, because she was born Christian, even though she was a kahuna. Many Hawaiian kahunas are also Christian. She put together the Ho'oponopono prayer. And if you go to fridayswithdoria.com, under the resources, you can read all the history of Ho'oponopono. And Dr. Haleakala was standing literally with her for 3 days when I did the first training in November of 1984. I know many of you were not born yet, and so you were probably my little angels helping me along. I was so young myself at the time, and I've been practicing that prayer for that many years. And I have to tell you that, Jason, I have been doing all of these Ho'oponoponos to bring the same frequency, the same energy that I had, or beyond. I never limited to just me, or beyond, that would see this work for what it was. And without realizing, well, of course, because it's when you have something that you have been a steward of, you'll not be able to see its beauty, its energy and power at the level that you can until it's seen by somebody else's eyes. So I feel like all the Ho'oponoponos from all the people that have wanted me to do Money and You, when people say, how come it's not all over? Well, I had not quite found in America the level of substance and of energy that apparently the Great Spirit took me to open up the Asia Pacific region back in 1985. So, we had Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Hong Kong, and then we went back to, but we went to Malaysia, and then Indonesia, and then China and Taiwan, and now we're going to Vietnam. For those of you who are Money and You graduates, go to moneyandyou.com and look at, we're going to Vietnam. First, we're going to Singapore. This would be an amazing trip for you. Just go look at the dates. I can't remember off the top of my head, in April. So we go to a Singapore Money and You program, and the following weekend, we go to Vietnam. And for those of you that have wanted to open up, the Asia Pacific region, and open up all of that. 2/3 of the world's population is in that part of the world. And I think that's why the Great Spirit took me there. And by the way, while we're there, I want all of us to send the most beautiful, loving Ho'oponopono and prayers and energy for China. China is going through so much right now. And, I spent so many years there, and the Chinese people are so beautiful. And it's like, I get it that countries are like people, they have a certain karmic something. And I'm just like, they're suffering so much. First, they were locked down for 3 years. They couldn't do anything. And now, they can do whatever. And now, 250 million people, 250 million people, got infected with COVID immediately. And so we just want to send all the loving thoughts to our Chinese brothers and sisters. And then to make it, even, and this is for us to neutralize this energy. And thank you, Sandra, and everyone that can help me right now with that. Now the Chinese people from China are not going to be allowed to go into too many countries. And so, for me, my heart is so much in the Asia Pacific region, but it's also now in America. And for that, I'm so thankful for all of you that are helping me, particularly Jason, who is actually financing this, for us to be able to go to Dallas and go to, the program and just kind of expand it everywhere that is needed. So thank you for that. So come to Ho'oponopono, go and download all the gifts that we have in moneyandyou.com. We have, the business success model in Spanish and in English. And thank you, my beautiful Shmiko and the LIT team who are working with me on creating a Spanish Money and You. So we have lots of wonderful things. And before I take it back to our beautiful speakers, I just wanted to wish you the most beautiful 2023. May it be, and I have to say this, the last time we were doing this program a month ago, and that you all must go watch the replay. I don't know whether I was sharing that day or whether in the Ho'oponopono a little bit later, that I had this fear about 2023 because of what had happened back in 2019. And I had such high hopes for 2020. And then we had the whole pandemic thing. And it was, such a tough time to the whole world and the global paradigm shift. So I was a little bit nervous about getting all excited about 2023. And between and amongst all of my healing friends in Ho'oponopono and the conversation that we had with Jason and with Jeremy it's a live program. If you go to the replays in Fridays with Doria, you must go watch. A month ago, that was when we decided to continue with this talk today, because Jason and Jeremy were talking about how they have moved into creating product and services, but we went into this beautiful conversation, and that's when we also wanted to have Dr. Ryan here with us. So I've healed this. So I'm excited about 2023. I healed my Christmas stuff. In a month's time, I just kind of have advanced energetically so much more. And I know that it's all of your love and support. So I want to wish you all the most beautiful 2023. Come hang out with us. What a way to start the year in Dallas from the 18th to the 21st. And if you are temporarily out of cash, if you're having some challenges, just reach out to the office. We'll do installments. If you're meant to be there, we'll get you there. And there's plenty of money to go around to support you and for you to be there in some way. So with that, I will take it back. And Jason, usually right now what we do, and Dr. Wright, I'm so glad Dr. Wright is putting there about Adopt the Homeless. And I also starting to work with J.B. Owen. I want to put there about a book that we're doing on Ignite Wealth. And we continue with the Doria Cordova Foundation is going to come back a lot. Not come back. It's going to be really expanded in 2023 to continue with our major humanitarian work. And thank you, Dr. Wright, for all the work that you do with the homeless. Thank you very much.
Doria, would this be a good time for Jennifer to take us into the 2023 new timeline?
Yes.
Because you've just set the stage for it, really, haven't you?
I did. And if you don't mind, I think that Jason and the team will really love this. And then we're going to turn it over more to Jason and Dr. Ryan. Yes. So Jennifer, how about for you to also support me even greater, now that I let go of all my fears from night 2020, let's create 2023 for everyone here. This is a gift for you, all of you, for being here. We had major gifts today between Sandra and Jason and Dr. Ryan and now Jennifer. Go ahead.
Thanks, Sandra, and thanks, Doria. So something that we can do together is actually presence ourselves to a future that's already created in the field. So imagine that every bit of polarity, the greatest struggles that you've had, particularly in the last few years, but your entire life, this life and many other lifetimes, every piece of contrast in the metaphysical world has actually created thousands of solutions. That you can't have a problem without thousands of solutions. You can't have one sine wave of a problem without the equal and opposite sine wave in whatever form be able to resolve that. So imagine that every asking you've ever had, and what I'm going to ask right now is that we all, first of all, presence ourselves and type into the chat what you're celebrating for this past year, 2022? What are you celebrating? What are you actually celebrating? What is magical? What is beyond? And it goes, I'll share with you a couple of mine. One is that my stepdaughter came back into my life that I haven't seen in 10 years, and all my grandchildren are now present. She had a misinterpretation of something and she just left. And so it's just a really amazing miracle that happened this year. And so I love that. I'm celebrating that. I'm also celebrating that actually right now I'm celebrating this beautiful connection with fellow quantum physical adventurers like you and like the team of presenters today that I just am enjoying thoroughly. So just really celebrating that new connection. So what about for you? So we want to start this exercise in good vibes. What are you really celebrating? And give a read to what everybody is celebrating. Just celebrate with them. It'll just amplify. So where we're going to go next, and thank you everyone for sharing, where we're going to go next is we're going to go to the same time next year as right now. And we're going to go to the same time next year. And remember, in the non-time space reality, which is most of you. So most of you is made of particles from the non-time space reality. Some people say that 99.139% of you is made of those particles, and that only 0.0001 is made of the now particles. So imagine that we're going into the non-time space reality where every solution for every contrasting situation that's occurred in your life, like Sandra was mentioning, there are incongruent belief systems, karmic thought forms that come from our ancestral past that have been governing our way of being. But imagine that right now, what we're going to do is we're going to activate entire quantum shifts in the way we plug into life. Thriving operating system shifts that you don't even know that you don't know. And you don't need to know what they are because they already exist. The codes and everything you need to download is already existing in the field. But what we're going to do is we're going to go a year from now, all of us together, I'm doing it too, to the same date next year. And I want you to imagine two of the greatest struggles you've had this year. Two of the patterns that you've noticed are still playing out, for goodness sakes. And much like Sandra, after she did that beautiful process, I was very present to this feeling of us taking our lives for granted, taking the alchemy that we are for granted, that we actually have the capacity to be excited about contrast, to be excited. So imagine that a year from now, you're actually excited about contrast because you're so present to, let it permeate your body and your cells. Just really breathe this in, that you're so present to the reality that every time you have a problem or a contrasting situation or a struggle, thousands of possible solutions are created. And that instead of being overwhelmed or going into the mind, we make a shift. Could happen tomorrow, could happen tonight, could happen on midnight, the night before the same date next year. We make a shift into, instead of fear, excitement. Imagine that the greater aspects of your consciousness, when you have contrast, know that you're going to evolve and reach a new level. Know that if you have contrast, you're about to expand into a new level of consciousness. And the energy that you, through your filters, interpret as fear, for your greater consciousness and your grander wisdom, is actually excitement. It's just energy. And for your greater wisdom, that energy is excitement. You're just misinterpreting it as fear. Imagine that by next year, this time, there's a shift within your cells that's happening right now. It's being catalyzed right now because all you needed to know is the words that would activate it. That there is a possibility that's starting right now. You could interpret that same energy as excitement and live in the knowing anticipation that the future trajectory of your life is being brought into the now right this second, and that the future possibility for that which you've launched into existence because of the contrast makes your life exponentially better. And your job is not to noodle on it. Your job is actually to enjoy and celebrate your life so much in the next year that you line up, as Dr. Ryan said, with all of the frequencies. And right now, as a collective, the decision to do that, to make it a deliberate act, to line up with the frequencies of all of those solutions at a pace that your body and your life and your loved ones will adore, that's thrilling and enjoyable, will cause you to have a year that is like no other. A year where instead of getting stuck, you actually get excited for every bump along the way. And that from here forward, you interpret those bumps as the thrill that your greater wisdom sees when you catalyze a new idea or a new creation. And so it is. All right, so that's a little activation for 2023. And thanks for allowing me to do that, Doria.
Woo! Let's all unmute and let's celebrate 2023. Happy New Year!
New Year. Awesome, Miss Jennifer.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year.
All right,
2023.
Jason, take it away. What would you like to share? What anything left and what anything, and Dr. Ryan? It's been so wonderful.
I think the coolest thing to share is just that we now live in a time where conversations like this can be had publicly, and we're finally ready to start to claim back that power that we've forgotten that we had all along. You know, to be in a group of people where we're ready to do that, where we're not willing to empower authorities anymore to dominate us, but rather we're ready to expand our own authority to free the world again. And that's something I've lived my whole life waiting for, that moment where everyone would be free and each would free each other. That was like my motto of life, is no one is free until all are free and each are freeing each other. It's the cosmic law of freedom. And every day that I'm alive, I get to see more people not only wanting to be free, but also freeing each other so that they can free others. And I'm seeing Team Humanity rise in a way that just I've never seen before, you know? And it's crazy, like, just so you know, when you had that experience in November of 84, I had just been born, October 23rd of 84. So I was like, wow, I just caught on the planet. So it's crazy that in that 38 years, I've watched and I've watched and I've watched and I've watched and I've watched. And in 2019, right before the merge of the timelines and everything getting all weird in 2020, I had that same hope, that same inspiration. But I also knew that there was going to have to be some global pandemic or something, because that much new change and information coming in, it was impossible for us to process without some form of separation or sickness. Like, we were not at a species, we were not ready yet. There were still things that we didn't know about ourselves, that when we were given that gift of what was possible, that it would automatically show us the dissonance, and that we would take about 3 years, is what I anticipated, for us to resolve, to come to this grand year that is coming, which is 2023, or what I call the fifth dimensional technological revolution. It's the year where technology catches up in the quantum field, and we begin to show people new ways. And actually, my biggest celebration so far is that Porsche just released the new car that isn't using electricity or gas. It's using air and water. So
Wow.
they have now put out in front of the world that there is a new sustainable way to generate energy. And because there's such a large company, there's nothing that can stop it. It's now a thing. So to me, that was a sign that we're ready for what comes next. When you can start to use vehicles that have no emissions because they use water and air, and you start to really create that level of technology, then you can understand that that's an engine, and an engine powers things. And then you can go, well, if it can power a car, what else can it power? And so real conversations start to be had around the fact that we are now in a world where we're preparing for the next level of propulsion. So when we come from that space, anything is possible. And the simple fact that now that is a thing that is public knowledge, that people are starting to be aware of, it just, we live in that world now. We live in that world where we're ready for real solutions that don't cause more problems. And that's a world where we're not managing problems anymore. We're solving them. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited. We didn't even get into talking about the source seed technology or the trees that we're planting that are changing the world, or all the other things that are happening. But there are so many amazing, amazing solutions that are happening right now on the planet. Some of the smartest people in the world have started to collaborate with other smart people, and they've started to solve all of the crises that we've ever created. And I honestly think that by 2030, we'll have solved every single problem that exists currently today. Now, does that mean there won't be new problems? There will, but there'll be less valuable problems in that sense. We'll be able to continue to solve those. As we tap into more of a quantum flow, we'll become the solution, right? And that's the coolest part about what I want to celebrate in 2023, is this is the year that we become the solution. And it's the year that I've known since I was 4 years old would be the year that we become the solution. I've waited my whole life for this exact year to come. And everything that I have seen that has led to this, including things that I'm not even part of, has shown me that this is that year. So it's the year to become the solution. It's the year to go home.
Wow.
Wow, let's unmute. Woo! Come on,
Dory, I just
let's celebrate.
Yeehaw!
Woo, woo, woo.
Amen.
Well put. Dude.
Can I?
All right.
I'd love
Amazing.
to just say something here.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hold on, is that Sandra?
Yes, it is. And
Go
I
ahead, Sandra.
got so excited, Jason, when you, because I'm a Porsche girl. I have been for just about all my life driving Porsche. And so for them to do that is the most incredible thing. But David Schmidt got onto, he was getting frustrated about the fact that the medical supplies, the money and the patches weren't getting to the war and to all of the people in need around the world on a humanitarian level. And so he designed a 15-foot span drone that as the air goes in, the drone cleans the air and then takes the air out clean. Like it goes straight up. It can travel for 90 hours without being recharged. I mean, this is the technology that you're talking about, that scientists are now going, yep, we don't need all of this stuff that's messing up the planet. It can do this. And not only can our cars and our airplanes and everything else be driven safely, but they can clean the air as they're doing it. So Jason, thank you for telling me that, because when I saw what this special drone that David Schmidt has created, the first thing I said to him was, you've got to get to a car company. You just have to. Our cars have to work like this. And there it is. So thank you.
Yeah, people are now finally aware of the damage, and they don't want to do it anymore. I mean, that's the world we live in. We're in a world where we're ready to be solutions. Like I said, that's the happiest moment of my life, is realizing that, and then seeing somebody that I didn't work with be the first to announce it, because we've been working on that technology behind the scenes as well. And we were ready to launch it next year, but they got ahead of us, which is even better, right? Because like, hey, I don't care who gets the rewards, just get it done. That's the world we live in. Like, we are team humanity. Let's do this together. So I love hearing that, and I can't wait to support him on making those drones even more amazing with some of the technology I know about. Because
I'd
you
like
don't
to
even
add,
need to worry about the recharge thing. You can actually use compressed air as a sequence, and as a drone, it drives through the air and then use it as propulsion to keep it infinitely flying. So there are so many cool
you and
things.
David to get together.
Yeah.
I
We'll
like to
that
add
along.
a little bit to what Jason just said regarding the theme of this particular webinar. That is to say, the quantum consciousness that is on the planet at the moment, which Jason referred to. I mean, everything is quantum. I mean, you have quantum hairdressers and quantum insurance and quantum candy. I mean, it's ridiculous that the word quantum has reached such a level of acceptance, and it is a remarkable time in that, because of that word, that one word is now in everybody's consciousness. It creates a holographic, universal energy field, it somewhere wherever it exists, that we can all tap into and access the quantum level. And my particular interest is quantum healing. And I mean, even people like Deepak Chopra are writing about quantum healing, and that we have the ability to do that. I mean, that's what's so exciting to me. That not only are people tuning into the quantum, but they're tuning into the realization that we have the ability to access the quantum level. And as I guess maybe it was Jennifer who was talking about making a quantum leap, if you will, from one spiral to another, and now functioning in a whole new level of existence and reality. And that's part of the shift that's happening on the planet. So for me, it's all very exciting that there are people like David and Jason who are actually tuning in to that level and inventing things. I mean, it's one thing to be able to tune into that level and heal your body, but then to be able to access, and of course, Sandra's channeling, if you will, all this great information to use on a very practical level. And that, I think, is the summary of the theme of this particular webinar, that A, it's happening, B, we can all do it, and C, we can all benefit from it. Thank you.
Love that we're being called a webinar. I love it. No, that I love it. But I was going to say, Dr. Ryan, I just wanted to also introduce you to some beautiful people here in that are doing magnificent work. There's Camille. Where's our fabulous Camille? She was just on. I just want to make sure that we support her. Hi, fabulous Camille. She is one of the greatest humanitarian, and she is putting together an event on the same day we're going to be doing Money and You. But it's okay. Next time we'll plan it correctly. But are you enjoying this conversation, Camille?
My mind is blown. Jason has a gift. I know that. I remember when we met at Money and You, and just from listening to him, he's been around the world a few times. So, and I cannot wait, especially when it comes to the garden and seeing the enhancement that's happening with how naturally you should grow your food and you could feed, no one should be hungry. And the solution is there. So I cannot wait. I'm so ready for it. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you. And we want to support you. I just want to make sure, send me an email. My foundation can send you a check. I just saw it. I thought I had, but I don't think I had, and I have to do it before the 31st. So
Okay.
Sure that you send me an email right away. We want to support. She's going to be feeding a beautiful group of young people that need a lot of support. We have some gorgeous people. And I just wanted to also, Dr. Ryan, of course, Tom Chesser. Tom, anything you would like to say? You've been so quiet today.
it's wonderful to attend. It's, I'm in this, I've been in the ministry all my life, but to see science, technology, spirituality all come together. And I honestly believe we're all created for such a time as this. This is the greatest time in your life. And don't forget, this is going to be an amazing year. I already see it, saw it, love it. And this is a beautiful event. I'm looking forward to having Money and You in Dallas. Exciting news. Thank you.
Well, thank you for introducing us. We're so excited about that. And then I just wanted to make sure also we have some beautiful people and in the room. I think anything, Letitia, you would like to say? Another humanitarian, Dr. Ryan. Jason has met some of them. Anything, this is a beautiful human being, not only a humanitarian, but she also has a very big audience with her TV show. And then also she has 156,000 followers in TikTok and is all leading all these young people to do nothing but good work. Anything you would, Letitia, are you impressed with this group?
I am. It's amazing stuff. I really need to listen to this again. This is one of the times that everybody needs to play back. So thank you so much for the education. I'm doing the outreach for homeless. And so I did put the link in there a few times for people to support. It comes from Dame Doria's idea of adopting the homeless without taking them home. So you guys can participate. And then I'm the one that does the outreach. We hit the streets with hygiene packages and a little bit of food. I've been connected with some other people that do homelessness work. And so they've been giving us everything. We have dry socks for them. Right now in Southern California, we have rainy weather. And so being wet and not being able to keep your feet dry can lead to illness. And so we always give new clean socks, dry clean socks. And so we're going to be out there. We're out there this week right after Christmas, and we're going back out tomorrow and the rest of the weekend. So anybody that would love to give, that's where all the money goes. We don't do administration and all that other stuff. It goes straight for the people in the streets. We've been really blessed we just got a donation of disposable toothbrushes. And so we have toothbrushes for them. Keeping clean and having dignity and being clean is great. I will be doing some work when I come to Dallas next month. So we will have some things to do, some outreach there. Just like I did when I was in Miami, I got to go on a business trip with Chad and Maria and got to do some homeless work down there. So it was not planned, but we were able to take advantage of the opportunity that the host of the conference had extra food. And I got to make sure that it went to people that really, really needed it. So I love Maria and Chad. They always take me on fabulous adventures. But I'm looking forward to coming to Dallas and helping there too. And all you guys have to do is give. We've got the manpower, we've got the donations, we've got everything ready to go. And David, thank you so much for reaching out to me. I did email you, David Dennis. And so David Dennis is going to connect me with some people out here too. So I appreciate that. And just everything you guys do to support. I just want to thank. This entire year has been really, really great. It's highly satisfying and for me personally, and we do it in a way that gives people dignity. So thank you so much. Number one, all of the family, Get Lit family, for supporting my endeavors. Thank you, Doria, for supporting the endeavors. And all of you that have given, thank you so much.
Yeah, and I would
Go
ahead, Jason.
Definitely reach out to my team so that we can set up a meeting, because we're actually about to launch Homeless Huts Initiative, and it's perfect syncing. So I would love to support that. We're also 100 for 100. We don't do admin costs or anything like that. I personally cover with all my companies, all my admins. So I love nonprofits like that. I believe in charity, and I would love to sit down with you and work on a collaboration thing.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
And just remember, everyone, all you have to do adopting a homeless just means that you find somebody on the street that you take leftovers to. Like I have all these people that actually used to have China Air pajamas on. The China Air has the best pajamas on the planet. And I used to take all these, I would actually tell the flight attendants, could I have some extra ones? I'm actually going to be passing them out as soon as I get off the plane, and they pack me up with them. And what you do is you just find somebody that you just kind of like take things to them, and you don't even have to talk to them. I actually didn't. The ones that I have adopted and through the years, I didn't actually talk to them. I just gave them things. After a little while, they would recognize me. And so, it's like, this is so heartbreaking for us that have been on the planet for a while. We've never seen anything like it. So, but the solutions are here. And I have to remember that all the solutions are here, because I can go down that rabbit hole. And that's what I love when Jason is my new mantra. The solutions are here, just like Buckminster Fuller, right? And Sandra Biscayne, you have to leave. Give us a big hug. I know you have an event in 3 minutes. What say you go?
Well, I just want to say the perfect ending for my evening is that I have a quantum healing group in my home every Thursday night, and people are about to arrive, and we have a meditation. We give each other divinely downloaded clairvoyant messages. We put our hands on each other to heal, and I am going to put every single one of you into the center of this circle, so on a quantum level you all receive this beautiful, beautiful healing energy of love tonight. I'm honored to have been asked by Doria and to have been with you, Jason, and Dr. Rhymes and Aunt Ryan and Jennifer, and for everybody. And if there's any way I can love and support you, please let me know. I do a free meditation, a global meditation, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. So feel free to join us at that stage. God bless you all.
Thank you so much. Oh, let's give a big hand. Thank you. Thank you, my beautiful, beautiful Sandra. Thank you. Woohoo, go patch them up. All right. And then I just wanted to, Dr. Ryan, I wanted to show off some of my friends over here. I've been hanging around with Carol Dysart for the last 42 years. You're going to meet her. She's coming with us to Dallas. Of course, she goes with us all over the world. And she's the DIS master. Sandra, Carol, you love science. Anything you would like to say to Dr. Ryan, to Jason, to the team?
Oh, I think it's so exciting to have the spiritual aspect of science coming all together. Mm-hmm. It's been separated or not, they just haven't been working together in most people's thought. And I've had a wonderful experience myself of being able to integrate this all my life. So it's a natural, I'm going, well, finally people are catching up. So it's a wonderful thing that we have this ability now, and having cars demonstrating it and drones in the world. It's really exciting. And being in Money and You and this whole network is the biggest treat I've ever had. And it continues to grow and expand and be wonderful. And we'll see you all in Dallas. I definitely can't wait to get there.
And then thank you so very much, beautiful Carol. And Carol, I want to tell you all that I have known her for 42 years, and she's one of the most clear person I've ever met. Pure heart. I think I've seen her in reaction maybe once or twice. She just mastery, just total mastery, just a pure love bug. So it's been an honor to share life with you, my beautiful Carol Dysart, and for you to be seen by Jason and the team with the ISC. Jason, you got to see how powerful that tool is. It's like I have all kinds of different people that come to me and offer me, some of them, outrageous amount of money for me to replace a desk for, whatever personality they have. And without realizing, and number one, that it's all over the world. So you go into Singapore and you can ask somebody, hey, what's your DISC profile? And they will tell you. It's part of the culture of the whole Money and You network around the world. So part of is, aside from the fact that it's so magnificent, and now she has the profile for children, I'm sure she's going to go ahead and give some links in there. And then before Dr. Ryan goes, I just wanted to also introduce you to the LIT team. That means Leaders in Transformation. Shmiko is one of the leaders. We want to have all of them talk, but go ahead and unmute yourself for those of you who are partners in that. Laura, and I can't see everybody. Jasmine, Michelle Wilson. I think Michelle Coveto is not here right now, but Shmiko, what say you about your work and how has tonight been for you?
Wow. Well, I mean, it's confirmation. I just love not just seeing Jason again, but even hearing the scientific behind it, something that not only us as a core team follow with the Money and You and all the things that we do, but also too, how important this is going forward, that we all get an opportunity to actually think, and then thinking become things, and all the things that we've learned over the years, and how the vibrations of this and how we've come together. And then also too, just honoring you, Dame Doria. Money and You really has been a catalyst for so many of us to not just connect, collaborate. As you mentioned, many of our team is on here, Get Lit, and so many people that we're supporting, but also too, how we're going to actually go into 2023, changing not just our mindset, but how we are also showing up. And I love the solutions. As we all know, many of us, especially those of us that love systems and processes and things, we're always looking for solutions to things. And this right here is a solution. Money and You has given us a platform to find each other, which has also given us a platform to connect in the quantum field. And then now here we are going out and we're just lighting up the world. So honoring you, Dame Doria.
Thank you. Woo-hoo. All right, Jason, I can stand up. I was going to go to you next. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing really quick on the disc thing. I was so inspired by what it could do that I actually began writing technology on it, right? So I'm writing quantum technology on Activation Station right now. I've been working on it since Money and You, actually. It's almost the very first one. The D is almost done. It was a lot more complex than I thought it would be, but we'd already talked about it. So I didn't forget, Carol. I'm still working on it. I almost have finished the first one, and I'm very excited to work with it. So,
oh my gosh, I just need to
amazing.
say, I want to thank Tom Chesser for bringing these incredible minds to us. Really is the source of this. Tom, I will never, ever, ever not remember that you are such a gift at bringing these incredible people. And to have you introduce Jason and Jeremy to me the first day, I was like, that cemented this relationship so fast. And that's why any of you that haven't done Money and You, there is no reason not to do it. Zero reason. And Doria, you're going to announce that about both Money and You's, right? About
we're doing Dallas.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know if you said that earlier. I was anyway, just thank you, and thank you, Tom. You're an angel. You're an angel just flying around. I can see now all your metaphysical work all your life is really paying off. Thank you.
Jason, you were probably in the room with me. You were being an angel back in November of 1984, helping me out, right?
Probably.
I'm meeting all my angels. They're coming down. Anyway, so, and very quickly, I also wanted to just give a big shout out to my friend Loke, who he doesn't show his beautiful, handsome face from Malaysia, always here. He shows up at 3 in the morning for him to do Ho'oponoponos. And Loke is one of the most beautiful humans, just from Malaysia. Sherry Clark, Dr. Sherry Clark, Dr. Ron, you would be so impressed with beautiful Sherry Clark. I'm not sure whether she's able to speak, but she is actually the Mother Teresa of prison rehabilitation. And she created a whole system called the shock incarceration, and that is the letters. What do you call it when the letters mean something? And she created a whole system of rehabilitation that was so magnificent. She saved the state of New York in cash alone, 1.4 billion, I believe. And that doesn't count all the other funding that actually was created out of all these people going back into society to add value to humanity. So that's our beautiful Sherry Clark. Usually she's here. She's probably with family. And we have many other people. Please introduce yourselves, all of you, right now, again, in the chat before we go. And thank you so much. And David Dennis, thank you for being here all the time. Bonita, always go to fridayswithdoria.com, honey, to find us. And can you can you show Jason one of your beautiful puppets? She's she's a puppeteer, and my inner child squeals with delight. Hold on just a second. She's going to bring one to talk to me. Hold on. Can we go ahead? There we are.
Hi
Here we
there.
are.
Aw.
I'm Darcy. And oh, that's another D person, Doria. Yeah. You all talk about pretty fancy stuff here. It's interesting, though.
Thank you, Benita. She's a professional puppeteer. I can
That's
have
so
until we can have her with us, you know. So as we're beginning to wrap it up, Dr. Ryan, have you enjoyed yourself today?
Yes, I've had a very interesting exposure to the work that you do, Doria, and some of the work that your colleagues are doing. It's all very exciting and interesting. And thank you for the invitation to be part of this amazing group. And it's been a pleasure.
Do we have links for you? Did we find you? Do we have a webpage? How do we find Jason, Dr. Ryan, so that we can, or we just find them through you and
Through
we're going to
Jason, yeah.
right? There he is, Dr. Okay.
There it is. Okay, right.
Oh, good. Okay. Like I was telling a little bit earlier, everybody, all of a sudden, there's all these friends of mine that love Dr. Ryan. I mean, Jason, completely different people that I never expected that would know Dr. Ryan, were raving about him just recently on Facebook and things. So
Thank you.
Yes, you are a very popular human being, and I can see why. Thank you so much. And let me see. And before we're going to give Jason the last word. So Jennifer, what say you?
It's been a pleasure to be here and just to be in the land of, right on that precipice where everyone, my friend Nigel Seal, who we're working on a humanitarian project right now. He's one of the co-founders of Global Earth Day, but he founded it in Canada. And we're working on a project right now, and he has a saying. It's here comes everybody. He says there's a point where we all start to line up, where we all start to catch up to, as Jason and Dr. Ryan were both saying, we all start to catch up to that word quantum. And we start to realize through the magic of photons, which touch us all, through the magic of a fractal universe, which is the mathematical way that everything's connected, and through the quantum field where we're all connected. I think we're at a point of here comes everyone, Doria. And I love, Jason, that I didn't know that something that you said is we are the solution. And just another affirmation that the activation that we did was on the fact that the solutions already exist. We literally are the ones to line up with them. And I love the beautiful synchronicities that occurred tonight. Just really wonderful. And Doria, that you were the conduit for that. I'm not surprised, truly not surprised. And so here comes everyone. That is my HCE. That's what Nigel and I call it, HCE.
Thank you. And what say you, my beautiful Jason?
I mean, it's an honor to be able to share the stage with so many awesome people, because even the people that didn't speak today, we're all sharing the same stage, right? Everybody's here. We're all in the same quantum soup, learning and growing and permeating each other in that sense, right? It's so valuable to be able to spend so much quality time with so many amazing people. And since I joined the Money and You group, I've got to meet more and more amazing people every day, and I'm honored to be able to be on this stage and to share space with all of you. So thank you so much. And one last thing I wanted to point out, just so everyone knows, is like Earth Change is actually working with biophotonic technology to plant trees so that we can actually reforest things, and instead of erosion killing trees, we're able to grow trees out again because they feel safe. For most people, they don't know this, but trees actually are just like people. they have a personality, they have all these things. And so whenever we clear cut or we create a space where they feel afraid, they actually fall into each other. And so the mother tree will actually start to give less resources further out so that it can kind of save itself. And when you plant technology with the trees and you create a biofield, then the mother tree is able to grow back out. And so erosion actually stops and you actually have regrowth that occurs. And one of my premises with my nonprofit Earth Change is that we're actually doing that. We're working with building equatorial trees and putting in biological corridors and really stabilizing and rebuilding the environment through biophotonic technology, which is just, it was so fun for you to say the word photon, because that is the world. Like me and you could probably geek out on the word photon for
Jason,
a very long time.
Yeah, I need to make an introduction for sure to Nigel. You and Nigel ought to meet, and you should hear about because there are so many synchronicities in what you just shared. It's so beautiful. So let's chat.
Yeah, let's definitely chat. And for everyone out there, thank you guys so much for coming to this and for hanging out for like 2 hours and talking about cool concepts. I've dreamed my whole life of being able to openly talk about quantum technology openly with anyone publicly. And so it was really cool to have a quantum conversation with everyone. And I look forward to more conversations because my goal in life is free education for all, equal accessibility for all, like everything equally accessible so that it's a choice instead of something that's like a gatekeeper of it. And that's where everything I stand for is. My entire YouTube is all free. Everything that I offer in that, all of the education you could ever need, everything that I try to do, it's that way. It's the same reason why what Doria was saying about This Money and You is like, if you want to come, but you can't afford it, reach out. We can work with you and create payment plans, things like that, because we care more about more educated, more awesome leaders than everything else. Like that's my main thing. That's when I met Doria and I started talking to her, that's where we collaborated on. Like that's what made it work for both of us, was that this just desire to bring that room and to create as many of them as possible so that people can have their own healing experiences, and to really experience that was the most important driving thing. That was it. And to feel that in another person it was just like meeting a kindred spirit. So thank you, Doria, for holding space so perfectly and really just creating these rooms all over the world for 42, 43 years. I don't remember the exact number. That's a really long time. I'm not even that old. Like that's how long this has been around in the world. And you earlier, you said 2,000 graduates, but on your site it says 200,000. So I wasn't sure what was there, but 2,000 seems a bit small for 43 years. It's 200,000, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
We actually have lost track. Some people say there's more than that, but we went back down and figure out, and we were doing it per year and everything else. In the old days, we didn't keep count, and we used to have all these lists, and they are in my garage somewhere. But we were like multiplying the number of people we took the time to do it. But my Chinese partners, particularly, there's 40,000 Chinese speaking Money and You graduates, but they all speak English too in Singapore alone.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hard to go. When we lived there, it was hard to go anywhere without running into Money and You graduates because it's a country. And yeah, it's an amazing experience what we've gone through. So thank you so much. And and I just wanted to say I will do the write-up about the bed, but I did want to say that I wasn't feeling really well. I actually went through a process of having high blood pressure, and for a little while, and I mentioned it to Jason, and they gave me 2 long distance treatment. But after the first one, that was pretty amazing because I had something like the day before, I can't remember, but I dropped like 15 points, 17 points or something like that after just one treatment. So my now is also, I was given medicine. So now is maintaining at a normal. It didn't take me long. And I think part of it had to do with, we went through a lot of sadness this year. We lost friends and we lost a little girl and some other things happened. Mama and all that, but Mama's doing good now. But I think that there was so much, and energetically, there was so much stress that it was like, what? High blood pressure? It's like, that's not even like me. But oh my God, that was so beautiful. And what I'd like to do, Jason, I know we're getting ready to go, but can you just tell us a little bit about the bed? And maybe they can post somewhere a link so that we can go out and look at it and learn more about it.
Yeah, my team's probably already gonna post that pretty fast, so I'll trust them with that. The bed is just basically creating a stand-in quantum field for you so that you can lay in that bed. I'm actually very, very happy because one of my really good friends, Elijah Ray, finally we've got our track set up. So not only is it a quantum field, but we also have the sound healing journey. I'm working on trying to get him to come here for the grand opening to play a concert. Like, the quantum spa is almost open. In like a few weeks, it'll be open to the public. So people will be able to come and experience these beds. And it's going to be in Denton. So if you're coming to Dallas, you can just go to the spa real quick. In fact, we'll actually give out free sessions to everybody going to Money and You. We'll give them a little token that they can take to the spa so they can experience that before or after. I think that sounds really fun. So we'll go ahead and do that. My team's probably like, no, I have to print all these things really fast. But, you know, they love me, so it works out. That being said, the bed provides this opportunity for you to remember the quantum field. And I can't stress it enough that it's not forcing you to heal. It's providing an opportunity for you to remember something so that you can actually expand into that memory yourself. And I'm going to let Glenn talk just for a second on the remote session aspect of it, because he just finished a study on this. And we were talking about that earlier. But when you work with something that is a quantum field, it's not just a physical structure, right? It's the structure that holds the field, but that field is already everywhere anyway. So this is really just stabilizing that field strong enough that you can actually lay inside of it. That's the real complication of it. And the way that works is this titanium plate has bioantennas imprinted into it to stabilize the octaves and the current so that the heat actually helps to open up your field. And then the sound actually kind of creates that intention or that field. And then the vibrations of it bring you into presence. But then it's the quantum imprinting in the plate that actually is the thing that can contain and hold that field for you. So that's kind of like the basics of it, just so you guys kind of understand there. But when you lay on it and you have these experiences, we have people that don't believe in quantum technology at all that come and have miraculous experiences. So I highly recommend trying it out. I love doing it distance as well. I do them when I do lives all the time because they just help a lot to stay stable and work with things. So you can do a distance session anytime that you want. You can do an in-person session. The beds are available for purchase now. We just got the thing. We're about to launch a huge campaign. We're always looking for really cool affiliates. So feel free to check out the website and learn more about it. And Doria, thank you for sharing your story. I love hearing stories. I saw earlier, Erin was telling the story about her child and the stuff that they went through, which is just, it's an incredible story. Like, that one moved me to tears when I heard that story the first time. I was like, what? Oh, because bringing this bed into the world has been the hardest thing that I've ever done in my entire life. Like, I've done a lot of hard things in my life. I run a ton of companies. I've worked very hard my whole life. But getting this bed across the finish line, hardest thing I've ever done. Because everyone and everything didn't want it to happen. I mean, so much. I can't talk about all of it, but it was a very hard thing. So to be starting the new year with this campaign, to finally have the affiliate system put together, and it's probably the best one that has ever been made. I'm blown away by what my team was able to take the vision and ground in. It has like all the marketing material, everything you need, and education. We have white papers coming from Glenn. Like, so much support for this technology has finally come together. And we got Elijah to actually custom build tracks using my technology and his technology that we were born into bringing into form and collaborate. And it actually synced up so perfectly that it's like miraculous. So when you come, Dora, you've got to experience it in person because it's so next level. It's like, you can't even, like, words don't describe it. It's just.
I'm arriving. I'm going straight there. Arriving on the Monday before Money and You. And and we're creating so many miracles around Money and You, and it's so beautiful. I can hardly wait. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, everyone. Everyone, you all know that I don't like to hang up on you, right? This is what we do now. Everybody kind of begins to unmute and says thank you. And And so let's all unmute and then you have to go, okay? Nancita, I love you. Woohoo.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Church came in.
Thank you all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Happy New Year, Dana.
Thank you.
Jennifer. Thank you, everyone.
Bye,
Happy
guys.
Thank you. Aloha, everyone. Bye.
Happy New
Bye.
Year.
Bye. Love you guys.
Bye.